Hi there, welcome back to WETO tutorials, and today let's check out the basics of the WETO softwares, be it the Lignikon or Viskon or Woodcon. Anything that we are checking out today are going to be applicable on either software. Right now I'm using the Viskon 16 version, and we are going to learn about the basic move, copy, rotate and mirror actions. Let's start with the move action. If I want to move my 3D model, I have to first select it, make a right click and select the move/rotate option. As you can see here in the small panel, I have move global, move on the work plane, move horizontally on the work plane, move vertically, etc. We have different options for the move command. Let's check out the move global first. It basically means that I can move my element here on any axis, be it the X, the Y and the Z axis, up and down. We have 3 clicks for the move command. We need to make 3 clicks. The first click is going to be the reference point on the element, or if you have other elements, you can click on those points too. And as you can see, now I have the offset from the selected point, and this is how I can move my desired element. But if you want to be more accurate, you have to select one of your corners here. I'm going to click on it, click on this corner firstly, and the second click is going to be the base point of the movement. Let's say I want to bring this corner on the middle of this side. Now I can measure this middle exactly. Well, the base point should be this corner, and the third click is going to be on the other side, on the other end. And as you can see, those colored arrows indicate the axes, the axles of the 3D space. If I come here, I can only see the blue arrow, which is the X distance. Here is a 200 centimeters distance, and I can make simple calculations here. If I want to define the exact middle of this 200 centimeter side, I can obviously divide this 200 centimeters, and if I press the tab button, I immediately see the preview where it gonna place my element. And now this is the exact middle of this side. This is the global movement. If I want to move anywhere else, I click on my element firstly. The second click is anywhere else I want to count from, and I'm counting from this corner. Maybe divide this by 2, sorry, minus 100 divided by 2, and this as well, little leg. And now I moved it globally. This is the global movement. I have other options for moving. Move on the work plane. Now, firstly, I have to select the plane which I want to move my element on. I'm selecting this plane, and from now on it's basically the global movement. Nothing special, as we saw earlier. But if I come back and I select this plane, the side of my 3D element, now I can only move it on that specific plane. If you can see, if I want to come here and over this corner, it immediately creates the red arrow indicating that it's only going to move on one single axis, and it's gonna stay on that plane which I selected earlier. Click 2 times and it only moved on the X axis, not the Y axis, because it would have been out of the plane. Other options is the move horizontally on the work plane. If I select this plane and I want to move my element, it's only going to move horizontally. It doesn't matter where I put it on the y-axis, it's only going to move sideways. Something like this. Or if I want to, I can move it vertically. It's basically the same but with the other direction. I can move it now sideways, just up and down. Let's back to global movement. And as you can see, you can always set the Z distance, the Z axis, and it goes upper. Or with the negative parameter, it goes down below. Obviously, I can type any number if I want to, and I will immediately see the preview if I press the tab button where my element goes. This is the move action. Now let's see the rotate action here in Viskon 16. Obviously, first I have to select my element which I want to rotate, right click and select the move/rotate option. Here I have the global rotation option as well as on the moving option. I can rotate globally, which means rotation on every axis. First I have to select the base point. Here we can see the tips. What do I have to do next? Second click, I have to form a baseline. And with this baseline, I can rotate my element around the base point which I defined with the first click. See? If I click anywhere, it brings up this window where I can set exactly how many degrees I want to rotate. Let's say 75 degrees. Okay, and here is my element rotated. I can rotate on a work plane. For this I have to select a plane, obviously. Select again the base point, define the baseline, and with that I can rotate my element around my base point. Again, if you click somewhere, you can insert an exact value by how much I want to rotate it in degrees. Yes, and the next option, rotate vertically on the work plane. Again, you have to start with a plane, a base point, and a baseline. And now I'm rotating it vertically. You can set the exact degree. And now it's rotated. And the final option, rotate on any axis. For this, I have to define the axis and the baseline. And now it's rotatable on that axis which I created. Okay, so click on it, click on rotate on any axis, create the axis, create the baseline, and rotate around the axis 100 degrees, and there you have it. Pay attention the correct order of your clicks. Always start with the base point and then create the baseline, and then you can rotate around the base point. Okay, and this was the rotation of your 3D elements in WETO. Now let's see how can you copy your elements in Viskon 16. First you have to select the element you want to copy. You make a right click, and the first option in the pop-up menu is the copy option, where you have to decide whether you want to copy it globally or on a specific work plane. Let's copy it globally now. We need 3 clicks for the copy. First, the base point on your element or on your environment if you have a reference point from where you want to grab your 3D element. I'm clicking now on one of the corners of my 3D piece. The second click is going to be, it says down here, the target point. I'd say this is a base point from where you may want to move your element. And the third click is going to be the final place. And now in the pop-up window, you can exactly tell the program where you want to place your new element. Let's say 100 centimeters on the x-axis, 50 centimeters on the y-axis, and 0 on the z-axis. If I click OK, now I copied and I moved at the same time my new element. I'm still in the copy command, and I can immediately place another one if I want to. I'm gonna place another, set the parameters, and here in the number of copies I can copy this new element with the same displacement over multiple times. Now I can create 5 of these elements at the same time with the same distance between each other, and I'm still in the copy command, and I can place it again, place all these 5 elements with a new distance. 50, 50, and here we have 5 new elements created at the same time. Obviously, if you need to make an array of 3D elements, you can do it very easily with this method. I can place right next to my initial element and creating a distance from it. And now every piece is going to be placed 10 centimeters apart from each other. And this is how you can create easily arrays or rows of 3D elements. So don't forget the 3 clicks you have to make to copy and move at the same time, and you're good to go. And for the second option, copy from one work plane to another, this basically means that you will copy your element on another plane, and it's going to rotate at the same orientation as on the initial work plane. So if I want to put it on the side of this platform, I can copy over here, click OK, and now it is on another work plane. That's it in general. And this is how you can copy your 3D objects in Viskon 16. Let's talk about now the mirror option. How can you mirror your elements from one side to the other? Here in the Edit tab, we have a tool named Mirror, and with this you can select whether you want to mirror a component, a group of components, or mirror a drilling. We will now learn about mirroring a component. Click on it and select the component you want to mirror. Now I have to select a work plane as it's shown down here in the tip panel. I'm selecting this panel because I want this element to come over here on the other side of this platform. How can I do this? Well, I'm selecting this plane, and as you can see, it's a little bit over my platform, and this can be corrected by inserting here a parameter. I'm inserting 5 centimeters, and as you can see, it goes back to on the platform. This is because I know that my middle element is exactly on the middle of my platform. But when I selected the side of this, I made an offset, and this is the offset from the mirror plane. So I know that my element is 10 centimeters wide. I can insert here. If I had a 15 or 20 centimeters wide element, and I know that's in the middle, I can insert here that as well. In my case, it's 10 centimeters and divide it by 2. And this indicates the middle axis of my 3D element here, using which I can perfectly mirror my highlighted component from one side to the other. Click OK. It asks me if I want to create a copy. Yes, of course. And now I have mirrored my element to the other side. If you want to mirror a group of components, you can do it just as easily as a single component. You just have to select a plane and set the offset for precise movement. And that's basically it. This is how you can mirror your components in Viskon 16.